Namaste, viewers. This is Vibhuti Jha bringing you the short take today. And today's topic is a very dear topic for me. Living in America, we always wonder what's happening in America, what's happening to America, what's America is doing on the world around us. And I came up with the thought process, is America becoming an aging superstar, or the power of America is in the decline? There are times when, as a risk analyst, you make an evaluation of what is happening around us. It won't be out of place to mention that the entire leadership of America in the Senate, House, presidency is really aged. Octogenarians, people who are 70 plus, 75 plus, are in the race to become president, or they are running the country. It is a reflection of the state of the land and the state of the country. This is a topic people can do a PhD on. But I want to leave behind certain thoughts as to what are the imponderable issues for America, and it has gotten stuck or mired in it. That's very critical for us to figure out. Issues that America is so thinly stretched out that it appears that America might end up in the game of chess, checkmating itself. And that's an important point, that we are so thinly spread that the possibility of checkmating yourself becomes very high. And let's look at one of the key issues driving this conversation is President Macron of France, after his visit to China, made a statement which, if I paraphrase it, which says, let European Union, EU, not depend on America, a power that is sitting 7,000 miles across the Pacific and Atlantic. Think about it. It's very, very important statement from an important NATO ally to make that statement that European Union must keep out of the Taiwan tangle. Whereas, as a NATO, America is deeply involved in Ukraine. Think about the chess game. And there are certain power centers emerging around America. It's no longer the concept of superpower. There are multinational scenarios, I'm talking about many nationalist countries are arising because they are very annoyed with America because of sanctions. A very little focused area of international diplomacy is sanctions. Is very, very critical to recognize that America has been imposing sanctions on countries where they have serious foreign policy or diplomatic impasse, whether it be Iran. And the Russian sanction, which happened because of Ukraine, has kind of blown the situation way beyond. Believe it or not, more than 80% of the countries around the world are not complying to sanction requirements. And the reason is that Russia is a very resource-rich country, and Russian energy is critical for Europe. Everybody now knows that Germany is angry with America because their energy costs, the European Union's, the European nations' energy costs has gone sky high. Their economy is in a mess because of Ukraine war and the games that have been played to further the war in Ukraine without approaching for peace. Peace doesn't seem to be on the table. Think about it. Related to that is America's own obesity, which is on account of the massive trade deficits, which sit at about approximately $33 trillion. Now, at $33 trillion with 800 billion interest payments, America has actually become a very obese country. Raising the debt ceiling is printing notes. It doesn't reduce the size of your bulging waistline, as a result of which American ability to maneuver things in the world on money power is also shrinking because there are trade agreements happening everywhere. And we live in an era where the technology has been moving things left, right, and center. It has actually flattened the world in more ways than one. So now what you are looking at, various countries do not want to rely upon dollar, in which, dollar currency that we have, it says, in God we trust. Yes, in God we do trust. In America, we don't. And that seems to be the warning sign for America. And I, as an American, as living in America, we need to worry about it. We have to bring these issues in front to talk about it to our government and our machinery, because it has impact and implication for rest of the world. Because American dollar, as you know, is the centerpiece of every single financial transaction around the world, whether you buy petrodollars. But what has happened? Saudi Arabia is delinking. Malaysia and India are tying up. Everybody is trying to develop alternate payment mechanism. And that's very important. That alternate payment mechanism, it will have serious repercussions for Americans, because what is also happening in a very dynamic world today is that lots of small manufacturing items are returning from China back to America. There is an enthusiasm in America. So, can we write off America? The answer is clearly no, because what is important for the world to know, and for Americans to recognize very quickly so that you are able to act, is that unlike other countries in the world, America is a remarkably resource rich country. Comparing with India, it is 3 times larger than India, including Alaska and Hawaii and other areas. But it has 1/4 of the population. It's a very resource rich country. So if only the political system begins to recognize that we have to tighten our belt to be back in race again. We are ahead, but others are catching up. Or to be regaining our own position, America will suffer. The other element, which is very critical, that there is definite attempt to put America in place, because there are other countries like China, for example, India, for example. There is tremendous amount of economic power and strength hiding in these two countries. With a population of 2.5 billion, combined population of Chinese and Indians being 2.5 billion people around the world, think about it, it's a massive market. It's a massive economic opportunity for the rest of the world. Europe is no longer the marketplace for the world's goods and commodities. It is there. But China, Asia, India, these are emerging as very significant economic power centers. This will lead to realignment. And if America doesn't tighten up, the sun set on the British Empire, it will set on America as well. And I'm afraid, maybe not in my lifetime, but I do consider that America will no longer remain the golden bird that India was known once upon a time. So the issue here is very important, that America must begin to realize that the quagmire of international diplomacy and involvement, it needs to extricate itself from some of them. It doesn't have to be the global policeman trying to solve everybody's problem and exacerbate the whole problem. There is another very important issue. In God we trust, so says the fiat currency dollar, but America is losing out significantly on trust factor. Yes, international diplomacy, international relationship is all about your political and geopolitical interests. So there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies. It's how you align your interests with each other. In the case of America, what is happening is, thanks to news disseminating very quickly, people no longer trust America. And that angers me, because of ever since WMD till today, Nord Stream pipe blow up, these have lowered the trust factor in America. And that's the reason why many other countries are finding their own bilateral and multilateral arrangements going on, which will indeed weaken America. America has significant edge on patents, technologies, resources, the population basis. But I'm concerned right now. I'm concerned right now because unless and until Democratic Party, I'm part of Republican arrangement, The Democratic Party, which operates on agendas, not policies, begins to fix the issues within the homeland, where the social tension, immigration tension, there are too many problems distracting and stretching America beyond a point. I believe America has a very good future, but at the same time, we all age. We all age. There is always an end to every dominance. America has to learn very quickly how to extend the ability to continue to be a more important, relevant factor in the world. Otherwise, there are factors that are pulling America by the seams. So, the point which I'm trying to make here is that, in my opinion, America's age is catching up. New leadership must arise. Otherwise, America will no longer be the dominant force. It may be the big and mighty, but it will not be the dominant force to control international geopolitics. Thank you. We will dwell upon it more as the time goes by. And thank you very much for joining. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon of Jaipur Dialogue and Jaipur Dialogue USA. Thank you. Let truth prevail. Satyamev Jayate. Thank you.